Greetings, it's Saturday the 1st of October, so we're well into autumn now, fall, etc. So we're going to have a look around the allotment. I'm going to talk a little bit about a few plans I've got. We're going to have a bit of a harvest and hopefully you can get some ideas of what I'm doing, and please comment in the comment section below what you're up to at your allotment at the moment, or your garden, what you're harvesting, etc., because I'm interested. I'm sure many other people will be as well. So we'll start down here with this Hokkaido winter squash. So it's a Japanese squash, looks very nice. Now we do appear to have an animal, or indeed animals, that are eating squashes, etc. down this allotment. I've lost a Victor winter squash, which is a shame, but there we are. No resentment towards the animals. They are welcome to have what they want, because at the end of the day they are hungry as well. So what we got here is a little bit of damage there. Looks like some teeth marks, so it's a bit of a shame, but there we are. I'm not going to dwell too much on that. Now, with regards to the harvesting, storage of squash, etc., what you want to do is cut the vine like that. So you've got your squash there, look. So you haven't damaged your tendril there. You don't want to be damaging the tendril or the squash itself. So what you want to do really is, with a winter squash, leave it on the vine as long as you can, until the vine dies back. Not always possible, because ideally you need to harvest them before the frosts, but you can see this vine has died back. There we are, just like this. So this is now going to go into a relatively warm place. 25 degrees C I think is about the ideal temperature for about 10 days or so. So what's that, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. Then after that you want to store them at about 12 degrees C, which is about 55 degrees Fahrenheit. I think that's what it said on the Real Seeds website. You can check that one out yourself if you want to further clarify that. But there we are. So a nice Hokkaido winter squash there. So here in this straw bale raised bed, I've got some lovely crops here. So they were initially planted on the 21st of July and probably planted out about, maybe a month or so later, something like that. I've got a separate video that's going to be coming out later with regards to this sort of little project here, so wait for that one if you want. But yep, so got all sorts of things growing here. I've got some chard here, variety bright lights. I've got a tooth lettuce there, lettuce all the year round. I've got Lola Rossa here and some beetroot over there. So really happy with how this is doing, of course, because it's growing in the horse manure within the raised beds, very high in nitrogen, so that's great for leafy crops. So I've got my mesh here, and you can see I'm keeping it covered up because I don't want pigeons, etc., to get into it. But really happy with how this is doing. And the weather around here actually at the moment is very good. It's cooled down a lot compared to what it was, and we had a big rain last night, which is absolutely wonderful, and the days are still relatively long as well. That combined with the still relatively warm temperatures for the time of the year, still got plenty of time for growth here. So hopefully these will get a lot bigger before around, say, November time. When the days get short, it can get cold and it can bring growth to a standstill, or slow it down at least. So yeah, very happy with this little section here. So I'm going to harvest some pumpkins now. I've got one there and I've got one there. I suspect this one is variety Pacific Giant, could be Atlantic Giant, and the same with that one as well. The vines are fully died back. So the biggest pumpkin I grew this year, I put the video up the other day. I'll link that one in the description box below, along with some other videos, and I also made a more detailed video last year on the growing of pumpkins. So pumpkins I grew last year were much bigger, had much more favourable weather conditions. But anyway, heaviest pumpkin I grew this year was about 3.1 stone, which is about 19 kilos, 43 pounds, something like that. But once again, when you're harvesting your pumpkins, you want to make sure you cut the vine and try and leave as much of the pumpkin and the tendril itself intact. So we'll have this one, where shall we go? Just there, look, and there. So not a bad sized pumpkin. In fact, that could be described as a big pumpkin, but yet not unwieldy, and quite a nice specimen as well. And you store them the same way as I explained with the squashes earlier. So I've got another squash here, and this is variety North Georgia Candy Roaster. So it's made a good size. Now, I don't really want to harvest this yet. I'd rather wait until this vine has died back, etc. But because of this animal, might be a deer or whatever, that's eating the vegetables down here, I want to take it away now. So once again, I'm going to cut the vine. There we are. So this here North Georgia Candy Roaster, so you can see the size it's made. Really, really good, and a lot of history attached to this, and I'll be looking forward to storing and then eating this at a later date. Hope you can see this all right. So I was growing squashes, courgettes, etc. on this area here. So I'm going to now, well, not necessarily right now, but over the next few weeks, remove these leaves here and put them in the compost bin, and then that leaves me this ground here. So probably not going to mulch this year. I don't think I need to. I'm probably going to cover it up and then leave it for next year for plantings, maybe something like lettuce or something like that in the spring. That could be interesting. Another option, of course, is to bring on some broad beans maybe in some pots and then have a big area of broad beans, but plenty of opportunities here. Ground's good and strong, plenty of nutrients in there, plenty of organic matter. So yeah, this should only improve over time. So I've just uncovered a little bit of this for you here. So I planted these out, I think it was 2 weeks ago. The video be on my recent uploads. So perpetual spinach in here, I've got turnips, I've got some cabbage, and I think some other things as well. But in November I should start to get some of my crops from this. Of course, with regards to the turnips here, I could eat some of these little baby leaves already. Generally wouldn't do that because I'd rather them get a little bit bigger. But yep, so as I stated before, advantageous weather at the moment, really sort of capitalising on it. In the polytunnel, I've got a load of little plants that I've grown from seed, edible plants, etc. And what I'm going to be doing is planting them out. So if you've got some advantageous weather like we've got at the moment, at least around here, try and capitalise on it if you can. The rain, warm temperatures, longer days, etc. can be really good to make the most of the last sort of bit of quick plant growth, if you will, because the colder weather is not far away now. So here we are, you can see my squash and pumpkin harvest here. So I actually stated that I thought an animal had eaten one of my other squashes. That would have been a Victor winter squash. Apparently not. Apparently there's been a bit of vandalism, destruction, etc. at the allotment. So I suspect my Victor winter squash became an organic football. So there we are. Anyway, we'll look at these. So Pacific Giant Pumpkin there, I picked that the other day. The video that I picked this on, you can find that in my uploads list. There we are. You saw me pick this one today. Another pumpkin here, Hokkaido winter squash. What we got here, North Georgia Candy Roaster, little baby pumpkin there. This is blue banana squash, and this is Sibley winter squash. So looking pretty nice there. So a nice, oh, and this is oot squash. That's a Native American squash. So got loads to come up just in this little area here. Watermelons, got rich sweetness, pocket melon over there, aubergines, bitter melons, got some chilies here, so loads to come up on the channel, but we'll cover this in a separate video. So see you in the next video. Thanks for viewing, and all the best.